rescuing a minion stuck to a magnet. The whole group walks along casually. One minion walks ahead, suddenly stops, looks down at the ground. A large magnet lies by the roadside. The minion bends down, picks it up, turns it around curiously. The magnet pulls in small metal pieces from the road. The minion is delighted. The minion keeps walking while playing with it. Brings the magnet close to everything. They pass by a metal pole along the street. Clack! The magnet snaps tightly onto the pole. The minion pulls his hand back. It won't come off. Two other minions rush over, try to pull him away. The more they pull, the more he sticks. The minion gets dragged in, hugging the pole tightly, feet dangling in the air. The whole group gathers around in a panic. Seeing this, Gru runs off to find another magnet, flips the polarity. Gru brings the magnet closer. Clack! The minion pops free from the pole. The minion falls and sits on the road, eyes spinning. Gru exhales in relief. The whole group bursts out laughing. The toy car goes out of control an afternoon in the garden. Agnes sits on the toy car. A minion stands nearby, holding the remote control. The minion presses a button gently. The car moves slowly. Agnes is delighted. The minion gets curious, presses another button. The car suddenly speeds up. The car races around the garden, wheels skidding fast. Agnes is startled, grips the steering wheel tightly. The minion panics, presses buttons randomly. The car goes faster and faster. Gru runs out from the house, sees Agnes on the car. Gru runs alongside the car, arms outstretched. Gru lifts Agnes up, pulls her off the car safely. Agnes hugs Gru, lets out a sigh of relief. The car keeps going, with no one driving. The car heads straight toward a tree. Bump! The car lightly hits the tree. Stops completely. The minion stands frozen, staring at the car. Gru crosses his arms and turns to stare at the minion, stares intensely. The minion raises the remote, scratches his head, and gives an awkward smile. The shirt carried away. By the wind an afternoon in the yard, Agnes is hanging out laundry. The wind grows stronger. The clothes flutter wildly. Whoosh! One shirt slips off the line, flies up and gets caught on a tree branch. Agnes is startled, looks up. Two minions playing nearby run over. First minion arrow, jumps and reaches for it. Too short, second minion arrow. Uses a stick to poke the shirt arrow, whoosh! Arrow. The stick gets stuck on the branch too. Agnes goes into the shed and pulls out a ladder. She sets the ladder under the tree. The minions hold the ladder. Agnes climbs up. Agnes stretches out her hand, almost reaching the shirt. Screech! The ladder slips. Agnes loses her balance, arms flailing. The minions panic. Grab the ladder tight. The ladder shakes hard, everyone wobbling. Thud! Agnes slides down safely to the ground, sitting flat. The minions tumble on top of each other. Up above, the wind changes direction. The shirt falls down, landing right in front of Agnes.
Minion cooks breakfast morning in the kitchen. A minion wearing a chef hat stands in front of the stove, very confident. The minion turns on the stove, places a pot on top. The minion pours ingredients into the pot, stirs evenly. Other minions stand around, watching closely. One minion sprinkles seasoning, just a little. Another minion adds more, much more. A third minion pours in the entire bottle of seasoning. The chef minion freezes. The pot boils over the lid, flies off. Bang! The lid hits the floor. Smoke rises. The kitchen becomes messy, splattered, blackened. The minion stands still, faces covered in seasoning. Poppy walks into the kitchen. Stopped, looks at the scene in front of her. A moment of silence. Poppy lets out a soft breath, rolls up her sleeves. Poppy grabs another pan, adds fresh ingredients. Poppy cooks neatly, quickly. The minions stand around, watching. A delicious smell fill the air. Poppy plates the new dish, clean and tasty. The minions look at food. Eyes light up. Poppy smiles, hands on her hips. Rescuing a minion stuck to a magnet. The whole group walks along casually. One minion walks ahead, suddenly stops, looks down at the ground. A large magnet lies by the roadside. The minion bends down, picks it up, turns it around curiously. The magnet pulls in small metal pieces from the road. The minion is delighted. The minion keeps walking while playing with it. Brings the magnet close to everything. They pass by a metal pole along the street. Clap! Magnet snaps tightly onto the pole. The minion pulls his hand back. It won't come off. Two other minions rush over, try to pull him away. The more they pull, the more he sticks. The minion gets dragged in, hugging the pole tightly, feet dangling in the air. The whole group gathers around in a panic. Seeing this, Gru runs off to find another magnet, flips the polarity. Gru brings the magnet closer. Clap! The minion pops free from the pole. The minion falls and sits on the road, eyes spinning. Gru exhales in relief. The whole group bursts out laughing. Out of control balloons. The whole group is playing ball in the backyard. Bob misses a kick, and the ball rolls toward the fence. Agnes runs after it. As she bends down to pick up the ball, she notices a bunch of balloons tied nearby. Curious, Agnes grabs the balloon string and gives it a tug. A gust of wind blows in, yanking the balloons hard and making Agnes stumble. She holds on tightly, then she's lifted completely off the ground, her feet kicking in the air. Gru turns around startled and runs toward her. He reaches for Agnes' legs but slips. Agnes rises higher, drifting away from the yard. Gru runs underneath, jumps again, and manages to grab Agnes' legs. He's dragged a few steps across the grass. The minions rush in to hold on Gru, forming a line to pull him back. The balloons shake violently. Dr. Fario runs over and quickly ties the string to a large rock. The balloons slowly descend. Agnes gently touches the ground. The wind calms. Agnes looks at everyone and smiles. Edith stuck in the trash bin. Edith walks slowly at the back of the group. Her eyes dart left and right, full of mischief. She stops in front of a large trash bin. She glances around, making sure no one is watching. She climbs in. The lid immediately snaps shut. Agnes stops. She doesn't see Edith. Minions scatter, searching, looking behind benches, look under trees. No one is there. From afar, a garbage truck appears, moving slowly, getting closer. Gru sees the truck. His eyes shift to the trash bin on the curb. He freezes. Gru runs over. The minions chase behind. Dr. Nefario steps forward, opens the control panel at the back of the truck. The lifting lever starts to operate. The lid flips open. Edith slides out. The minions stretch their arms to catch her. Edith lands safely on the ground. The minions collapse to the ground, exhausted.
Rescuing a fallen tree. Morning on a small road. A large tree has fallen, blocking the path. Gru walks up, crossing his arms to observe. The minions stand around, pointing and chattering. Gru grabs the tree trunk with both hands and pulls. The tree doesn't budge. The minions rush in to help. They push in the wrong direction, and the tree rolls toward Gru with a thud. Gru dodges just in time, and the minions tumble into a pile. One minion gets an idea, pulls out some rope, an old wheel, and metal hooks. The group sets up a homemade pulley on a still-standing branch. Gru nods in approval. The rope is tightly tied around the tree trunk. The minions line up to pull the rope. Gru stands in front, signaling the count with his hands. Pull! Everyone pulls with all their strength. The rope stretches tight. The pulley squeaks. The tree suddenly pops upright. Success! The minions jump and cheer.
Agnes drops a cake. Agnes carefully carries a large cake, the white frosting bubbling slightly. She beams with excitement, her eyes sparkling. Kevin is wiping the table. Stuart sits on a chair eating a banana. Bob lies on the floor hugging his stuffed bear. And Poppy stands near the kitchen, eyes following every movement. Agnes takes a few more steps and slips. The cake spins slowly in the air. Gru reaches for it and misses. Kevin jumps, but still can't catch it. Stuart slides across the floor. Bob reaches and trips over Kevin, flipping over. Poppy manages to pull Bob out of the way, then reaches for the cake herself. Then, bam! The cake lands right on Kevin's face. Frosting splatters everywhere. Stuart and Bob crash into Kevin, and now all three minions are covered head-to-toe in frosting. Poppy stands by in time, though a few streaks of frosting are stuck in her hair.
Forming a DIY band an afternoon in the backyard. Poppy sits and drinks some water. Agnes sits nearby, playing with toys. One minion flips a pot upside down, uses a spoon to tap it. Clang! The minion jumps in surprise right arrow, taps again. Clang, clang! Another minion runs over right, grabs a cardboard box, slaps the box with his hands, thump, thump. Agnes gets curious, picks up an empty plastic bottle, shakes it, rattle, rattle. The group looks at each other. They start playing a band. Everyone has a different rhythm. Poppy stands up, claps along to the beat. One minion keeps drumming, gets more and more excited. Drums while dancing. Clang, clang. Dance is too hard. The spoon slips out of his hand. Whoosh! The spoon hits another minion on the head. Then everyone bursts out laughing. Edith stuck in the trash bin. Edith walks slowly at the back of the group. Her eyes dart left and right, full of mischief. She stops in front of a large trash bin. She glances around, making sure no one is watching. She climbs in. The lid immediately snaps shut. Agnes stops. She doesn't see Edith. The minions scatter, searching, looking behind benches, looking under trees. No one is there. From afar, a garbage truck appears, moving slowly, getting closer. Gru sees the truck. His eyes shift to the trash bin on the curb. He freezes. Gru runs over. The minions chase behind. Dr. Nefario steps forward, opens the control panel at the back of the truck. The lifting lever starts to operate. The lid flips open. Edith slides out. The minions stretch their arms to catch her. Edith lands safely on the ground. The minions collapse onto the ground, exhausted.
Minions troll the scientist. An afternoon in the laboratory, the scientist stands in front of a large machine he has just invented, looking very proud. Two minions sneak up behind him, staring at the buttons. First minion peels off the start and stop button. Labels, second minion sticks the label back on, but swaps them. The minions look at each other, grin mischievously, then tiptoe away. The scientist turns back, looks at the control panel. He reads the labels, nods, presses the start button. A brief silence. The machine shakes violently. Vroom! Paper bursts out all over the room. Paper flies everywhere, covering the scientist's face. Panicking, he presses stop. The paper shoots out even harder. Paper piles up to knee height. Gru walks into the room and takes in the scene. Gru rushes over and switches off the power. The scientist emerges from the pile of paper. Glasses crooked, the two minions hide behind the machine, covering their mouths and laughing, pranking each other at the beach. An afternoon at the beach, Gru lies stretched out on the sand. Agnes sits nearby, focused on building a sandcastle. Two minions stand a short distance away, look at Gru, and at the sand, grin mischievously. The first minion secretly scoops sand, gently piles it onto Gru's legs. Gru doesn't react. The second minion adds more, building it higher. Gru still lies still. The minions look at each other, start piling faster. Sand covers half Gru's body. Agnes looks up, sees the scene, covers her mouth and laughs. The minions completely cover Gru. Only his head is left exposed. They step back, arrow right, admire their masterpiece. Arrow right. A big wave rushes in. Seawater washes the sand away. Gru slowly sits up, covered in sand. The minions freeze. Gru turns his head. The minions step back, awkwardly. Gru grabs a sand shovel, scoops up a big load, throws it back at the minions. The minions fall backward into the sand.
Rescuing stuck in the elevator. Gru leads Agnes, Edith, the minions, and the doctor into the elevator. The elevator begins to descend. Suddenly, the elevator shakes slightly, comes to a complete stop. Lights start blinking. Minions, eyes wide, staring at everyone, pressing all the buttons. Agnes clutches her dress, worried. Edith crosses her arms, curiously looking at the ceiling. Gru frowns, observing the situation. Doctor opens his briefcase and takes out a door-opening device. Hastily assembling, Gru steps forward, pulls at the elevator doors with all his strength. The doors don't move. Minions join in, pulling with Gru. The whole group slides backward. Agnes looks down the small gap in the doors. Agnes slips through the gap, disappears outside suddenly. The elevator doors burst open, piles on top of each other. Silence for a few seconds. A minion peeks out first. Agnes stands outside, smiling, gives a thumbs up. The elevator doors close behind them. The group steps out, shaking their heads with a light laugh.
Agnes hugs Teddy Bear tightly and runs around, laughing happily. Suddenly, Agnes trips. The teddy slips from her hand, rolls a few times across the grass, and then falls straight into a drain. Gru runs over. Kevin, Stuart, and Bob stand behind him, crowding together and watching with worried expressions. Kevin immediately runs off to look for something. A moment later, Kevin returns with a long rope. Gru bends down and gives the rope a test pull. The rope tightens and suddenly snaps back. Stuart can't hold on and is flung backward, rolling a few times across the grass. The group pauses, looks at Stuart, covered in grass and mud, and bursts out laughing. Gru steps forward, takes the rope, grips it firmly with both hands, and pulls very slowly. Finally, the teddy bear is pulled up completely. Agnes hugs the teddy tightly against her chest, smiling brightly. The Banana Tower Building Contest. Afternoon in the backyard. Agnes and Edith stand on one side. Two minions stand opposite them. Agnes plus Edith on one team. Two minions on the other team. In front of each team is a pile of bananas. The contest begins. Team Agnes. Edith. Agnes stacks the bananas very carefully. The tower is slightly crooked, but still standing. Team Minions. The two minions stack very quickly. The banana pile grows tall. Both towers rise higher and higher. Edith sneaks over, gently pulls out one banana. The minions' tower tilts slightly. The two minions panic and fix it. One minion looks over. Right arrow spots Edith. Right arrow smirks. Slyly, right arrow. The minion sneaks back and pulls one banana from Agnes's team right arrow. Crash, right arrow, both towers collapse at the same time. Bananas roll all over the yard. The whole group sits on the ground in the yard, eating bananas, laughing happily. Planting trees in the garden. Morning. In the garden, Poppy holds a small shovel, digs a nicely sized hole. Agnes holds a young sapling, gently places it into the hole. Pop fills the soil neatly, pats it down lightly. Agnes waters it just enough. The plant stands upright. Nearby, a group of minions also starts planting. One minion digs a hole too deep. Another drops the plant straight in. A third minion dumps soil in all at once. Dirt splashes everywhere. The minion's plant starts wobbling. The minions hold the plant together. It stands for a moment. A brief silence. The plant collapses with a thud. Poppy and Agnes turn back. Look at their plant, still standing strong. Then they look at the minion's plant. Agnes covers her mouth, smiling. Poppy shakes her head, smiling.
A light flight, an afternoon at the park. A minion holds an umbrella, looks at the sky, strolling happily. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind. The umbrella flips inside out. The minion is lifted off the ground. Feet dangling, the minion flies low, hands gripping the umbrella handle tightly. Other minions turn around, panic. The whole group rushes over. Grab the minion's legs. The minion gets pulled downward, but the wind still holds on. Gru runs over, adds his strength from below. The whole group forms a chain, pulling the minion down. A tense moment. The wind weakens, the umbrella collapses. The minion drops gently onto the grass. Thump! Everyone falls into a pile. The minion sits up, rubbing his head. The other minions sigh in relief. A moment later, another breeze passes by. The umbrella lifts slightly again. The minion panics and immediately lets go of the umbrella, letting the wind carry it away. Out of control balloons. The whole group is playing ball in the backyard. Bob misses a kick, and the ball rolls toward the fence. Agnes runs after it. As she bends down to pick up the ball, she notices a bunch of balloons tied nearby. Curious, Agnes grabs the balloon string and gives it a tug. A gust of wind blows in, yanking the balloons hard and making Agnes stumble. She holds on tightly, then she's lifted completely off the ground, her feet kicking in the air. Gru turns around, startled, and runs toward her. He reaches for Agnes's legs but slips. Agnes rises higher, drifting away from the yard. Gru runs underneath, jumps again, and manages to grab Agnes's legs. He's dragged a few steps across the grass. The minions rush in to hold on to Gru, forming a line to pull him back. The balloons shake violently. Dr. Nefario runs over and quickly ties the string to a large rock. The balloons slowly descend. Agnes gently touches the ground. The wind calms. Agnes looks at everyone and smiles.
An afternoon at the park. One minion gets tired, walking while rubbing his legs. The minion spots a stone bench, runs over quickly. On the bench is a sign, "Caution, wet paint." The minion doesn't notice. The minion pops down on the bench, stuck fast. The minion tries to stand up. Won't budge. The minion wiggles a little. The bench shakes long. The other minions turn back, panic. The whole group rushes over. One minion pulls his arm. Still can't get him off. Another minion pushes the bench. The bench moves with him. The stuck minion makes a twisted face. Gru runs over, surveys the scene. Gru grabs the minion firmly, pulls hard. Rippee! The minion pops free. But paint is smeared all over his back. The minion freezes. Looks at his back. Everyone looks, bursts out laughing. Minion turns around, looks at the bench. On the bench, clearly printed, the outline of a minion. The minion blushes, covers his back. Gru shakes his head.
An afternoon by the lake. The lake is calm, a light breeze blowing. The whole group is fishing along the shore. Gru sits on a chair. The minions stand behind. Peeking around curiously, the bobber twitches. Gru stares intently. The bobber sinks. Gru jerks the rod up. Nothing. Gru exhales. A minion gets impatient, pulls the rod to help Gru. The rod shakes violently. The minions crowd in to pull everyone's strains together. The rod bends to its limit. Everyone is tense. Whip, pulling up. An old boot. Dripping water. The whole group freezes. Agnes tilts her head, looks at the boot. One minion laughs first. The whole group bursts out laughing. Gru looks at the boot, sighs just then. The nearby bobber jerks hard. Agnes bends down, gently lifts the rod. A small fish jumps out of the water. Agnes beams. The minions gape. The fish flops wildly, falls back into the lake. Agnes looks surprised. The minions laugh uncontrollably.